This is me. That is you. These are your questions. I'm going to answer them raw and unscripted. I don't know what that means, but what it means for you is I'm just going to look at them for the first time and answer them. But raw and unscripted sounds really scathing, spicy. I like spicy things. Hey, my name is Mr. X. Welcome to the Extreme Channel. We are giving away $1,000 statues to you guys. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Hey, thank you for tuning in to episode 7 of Your Questions Answered. Because I don't do a lot of online segments or live segments where I can answer questions for you guys, whenever I do, you guys have questions nonstop, which I really appreciate because, as I said in many of these previous episodes, I like talking about myself. Who doesn't? And every single time I make one of these videos, you guys do about 50 more comments or questions to me. So as long as you keep asking, I'm going to keep answering raw and unscripted. So I briefly looked at these. Some of them I haven't read fully, but let's dive in. First, DXC Zook, who's an absolute favorite of mine on the channel. Yes, I have some favorites. You may or may not be one. Always hilarious. Hard to think of questions, but here's some. If you got the Venom symbiote, could I change my pronouns to we, them? Absolutely. I think that's definitely justified. Or if you have, they used to call it multiple personality syndrome, but apparently that's offensive. I can't remember, associative disorder or something now. And have you ever been annoyed at not being able to get the exclusive version of a statue, but the regular ones are available? I don't think annoyed is the right word. Sometimes I would just pass altogether. I do remember one time early on in my collecting career, I bought the Scarecrow statue, which I still own from Prime One Studios. I bought it from Sideshow, this piece right here. And as soon as I bought it, the exclusive became re-available again. And Sideshow, to their credit, let me return that one and get the other one for absolutely free. I really appreciated that. The number one fan of the Extreme Channel, number one supporter, said, please tell me you're getting the Prime One Batman on Throne. Well, if you've watched the videos over the last few months, you know I'm getting away from Thrones. So I have one more Throne on order. It is DC, but it is not Bane. Although I did consider that one highly, especially with the low edition size. The rest of these on this first page are just comments. Again, thank you for comments as well as questions. Because if you forget, we're still doing a giveaway. I really hope we can get to 40,000 subscribers this year. And this is how to get there. As we try to grow this channel, we like to reward you guys for watching and subscribing. So because of that, every 5,000 milestone when it comes to subscribers, we give away a couple $1,000s worth of statues. We've actually given away over 20 statues. To win one was easy. First, you got to be subscribed to the channel. You'll get bell notifications when videos drop. Each video that drops, you want to make a comment on those videos. We pick a random video, we give away statues based on a comment. You can say whatever you want. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. Okay, Phil McCoy wants to know, what was the first collectible that started you down the road? If you recall, I started collecting autographed sports memorabilia, which led to movie memorabilia, and then there was a little bit of crossover, which led into Hot Toys, which I think the first premium format or quarter scale I ever bought, well, it was 5th scale, was the Sideshow Skeletor statue, this right here, and then all bets were off. From George Moss, is there any statue line that hasn't been made that you wish a statue company would make, but there is no way a company would touch it? I appreciate that question, George. A lot of people ask what statues or characters I want it made, which I've done in these videos right here. Keep referencing you guys to a lot of videos, but is there a line? Oh, that's a tough one. I wouldn't say a line in something that people wouldn't touch. I'd have to think of maybe Monster Squad. If you remember Monster Squad from when we were a kid, that would be a good one. Although I probably wouldn't buy it. That's why they're not making it. Darkhawk and Sleepwalker. Those are my number 1 and number 2 right now. I've been thinking about Darkhawk and Sleepwalker. This next guy, he's a loser. He sleeps with his mom. He's been making troll comments. And there's the rest of the comments for that page. Okay. Do you think they will come out with any Marvel Rivals statues? Also, the Broncos lost, but I think the future is bright. So yeah, Broncos lost in the playoffs to the Bills, which was expected. I was disappointed because I had about 10% hope. But the real question is, do you think they will come out with any Marvel Rivals statues? Probably not. Not enough fan base. You know, people always ask, why do they always make Wolverine and Venom statues? It's because that's what people buy. Mateo Simon, also another great supporter of the channel. If by the way, if I didn't say you're a great supporter of the channel, it doesn't mean you're not. Came from Iguazu Falls. Phenomenal place. I might have to write that one down. Gearless Joe, you're a big music fan. What tips or tricks have you learned when going to concerts? So I'm a huge music fan, but I'm not a huge concert fan. I get a number of concerts from the different season tickets I have, like the Broncos and the Nuggets, but I usually go out of obligation. There's only about a handful of artists that, like, oh, I have to go see those. Like Metallica, I got some tickets to that, and I don't want to go. So I don't really. I've been to probably only 20 concerts in my life, which is probably a lot. But I'm not like an avid goer who has all these tips and tricks by any means. I think that if you're going to a concert, the closer to the seats, the better. I'd rather go to one concert instead of 3 and have better seats. So that'd be my only comment on that. Jerry Smith says these videos are fun. He has a few questions. Can you discuss your take on comic book collecting? Are you at the comic book store every week? How many comics do you have? Marvel guy or DC guy? Can the Hulk beat Thor in a fight? Okay, first of all, yes, I think Hulk can beat Thor because I don't think you can really kill the Hulk. But can you? And I believe Noel killed Thor. Maybe. I can't remember. But so comic book collecting, nowadays I only collect omnibus or slabs. And I mainly do slabs for decoration, so it has to match a statue, be an issue that I loved growing up, or just have amazing artwork. So I kind of display it as artwork. Omnibus, it's when I really want to get into a storyline. I don't want to search the individual comics. Nowadays, I buy all my shit online, which I feel bad because I think anyone who owns a comic book store, more power to you. I hope you survive. I hope all the blessings in the world. Most of those people don't do it for money. They do it for the passion, and I so appreciate you guys. But unfortunately, I'm not supporting you just because I can buy it online in 5 seconds as opposed to spending 2 to 3 hours to drive to one and look. Do you speak any other languages? And if not, what language would you like to learn? So yes, mi madre es profesora de español para 30 años. So I speak Spanish fluently, English, and gangsta. That's why I say fitty when I talk about an edition size. I've always wanted to do Rosetta Learning Stone, probably for Mandarin, since it's the most widely spoke language. But I feel like I'm too late for that in my life. Maybe when I retire, some bucket list stuff. Would you still collect if you're only able to get 1 or 2 pieces per month? Absolutely. I think 2024, I only got like 30 statues, so that's close to that, 2.5 pieces a month. This year, so far, I'm filming this towards the end of January, and I've gotten like 7. So, but absolutely. Eddie Run, how would you move forward with collecting if you ran out of space? I think I've already been doing that, Eddie. I have been selling pieces, and not only selling just to make room for new ones, but to make room for a new space. You'll look behind me. This was a big change I made in the last few months, depending on when this launches. Any interest in Godzilla, Eddie? I did own this custom piece right here that Mrs. X actually painted. It might have been the first or second piece she painted. You know, I love the original Godzilla films. I don't like the new ones as much. I think it does a disservice to Godzilla. Kevin said, do you resell your statues? Where do you keep the boxes? And then he replied, oh, I just found the videos. So absolutely right, Kevin. I have videos on do I resell statues. I do at the end of every single month except December. And then where do I keep the boxes? I have multiple videos on that you can check out as well. PR Zemok says, I know you don't want to talk about your work, but I'm interested in what your career looked like, kind of the progression. Where'd you study? So positions, I can just tell you this. I started working at 14 at a Kroger grocery store. Stayed there till I was 20, and I worked myself up to assistant store manager, which was crazy at the time because most of the people that reported to me were 20 years older. And then I jumped careers a few different times, mostly for money because I found out grocery stores pay shit. At least they did back in the 1980s and 90s. And went to commission sales, and I found that I had a great aptitude almost no matter what I did. And eventually I made a few career jumps to totally different industries. And I made one into the service industry as a frontline employee because my wife and I had just been married, and we had to move states for a reason I don't want to get into. But we moved states, and I started at the bottom because my buddy worked there, so I took it as a temporary job. And then I worked myself back up into management, which I've been doing in grocery and sales. No matter what, everywhere I've worked, this sounds bad. Everywhere I've worked, I've become the boss. Every single place. And then eventually I stayed at the boss level, and now I'm kind of recruited. Now, I went to university right after high school, college, and I flunked out because I partied and drank and did some other illegal things too often. And I found out I could make more money just in the career world. So I didn't go back to school until I was making six figures and had a kid, which sucked, by the way. And I think I had 9 credits to my name. And just so you know, you need 64 for an associate's degree. So I went and got an associate's degree, then a bachelor's degree, then a master's degree. And I was even going for a doctorate, not to help my career because I already made over 6 figures at the time, but just because I wanted to. I wanted people to call me Dr. X. But I never ended up getting my doctorate. Maybe someday. But hopefully that shines a little bit of light. I would always start at the entry level, and no matter what it was, I would just work my way up. Because I think I've said it many times, if you're decently intelligent, and I think I have a work ethic that shadows most other people, because I like working. To me, you have to do it, so just have fun doing it. Most people don't get that. Cody said, go Bills. I'm rooting for the Bills now that the Lions are out the time I'm recording this, although it probably launches 2 months later. Pure Stewage. Oh, I'm surprised Cody didn't want to know what scale meant. It's an inside joke. Pure Stewage says, I was pretty on bang with my football predictions thus far. So bring on Lamar, who lost last night the day I'm filming this. I filmed this probably a while before it launched. Best stadium or arena you've ever been to and the best atmosphere at a sporting event? That's a great question. It's tough because I'm biased with the Broncos. So first of all, I don't like domes. I think domes take away the ambiance. So when I think Tampa Bay was fantastic. That was one of the coolest ones I've been to. I think the Empower Stadium is the best for a few reasons. I love the parachuters. I love the thunder. And if you're unfamiliar, a lot of stadiums are built on concrete. They're not. It's built on metal, so they say bring the thunder. You stomp your feet, the whole fucking thing shakes. Not to mention I have, amazing seats. Memorial Stadium is fantastic in Nebraska. I haven't been to Arrowhead in about 20 years, but I have tickets to go later this year. Nebraska's opening game is at Arrowhead, so I'm taking 10 people there, actually, including my family and some others. But I got to say the Broncos. Although when I was there for the Nuggets when they won the finals, I was there for all the finals games and they won. That was hard to beat as well. Pinnacle, another great supporter of the channel. Again, if I didn't say you're a great supporter of the Pure Stewage is the previous person. If I didn't say it, doesn't mean you're not. What are your thoughts on owning money-making assets such as rental properties, car wash, laundromat, and other? Do you invest in any way? What are your thoughts on owning anything like that? So I do have about 4 or 5 companies I'm invested in through friends or professional, anywhere from 25 grand to more. But pure ownership, I have to run it because that's who I am. Maybe one day when I'm retired, I can look at that. I'm an entrepreneur. I've started companies before that I ran and owned. But investments, the stock market's always something good for retirement. I have stuff in there that goes up and down. You got to be prepared for the long haul for 20, 30 years in there. But if I'm going to invest in something, it has to be somebody I believe in more than, the product or concept. Obviously I have to believe in, but I have to believe in the person more. So a lot of times I bet on myself. So the company I'm with now, I have equity in, both equity from just, I don't know what the right terminology is, but ownership, but also investment. Tenebree 911 says, as a new collector, I need to hear that advice. So I'm worried I'm going to miss out on the Jungle Hunter Predator before I save up. You won't miss out. It'll always be available. Not this one. I'm keeping this one. What is your favorite statue you've ever owned? Tyson Trusty, I believe, a new that's the Silver Surfer, custom Silver Surfer. You're probably kicking yourself if you watch previous videos because I answer that a lot. All right, Jonathan Pardo, another great supporter of the channel. What are the top 5 happiest moments, days, memories of your life that make you feel warm and really bring you joy? His top 5 are the births of his 3 children, my wedding day, and the day they renewed their vows. St. Lucia is beautiful, one of my favorite places. is it funny that business or financial success has never topped any of these moments? First of all, I agree with you, Jonathan. My happiest moments were never necessarily at a luxurious place that I could afford or because of money. They're the simple ones, and I can't name off the top of my head. They were not when my kids were born. They were not my wedding day. Those are some of my favorite events, but those days sucked. So, I mean, let's be honest, they were rough days. My wedding day, I couldn't. I'm so happy I married my wife. Best, one of the best decisions of my life, other than my faith. But with that, some of the best moments are the hilarious memories I have watching my children. I think all 5 would be with my children and my wife. None without her. Just funny memories we will remember forever, regardless of what they are. I'm thinking of one where my youngest son, who knows more football than you can imagine, he was 2, and he ran into, while we were watching football, he ran into our room that we were watching football with his underwear on. He looks around, he puts it, and he says, "Hike," and he grabs it and runs out. I will never forget that moment. So it's moments like that. Serious question, Woodford or Blanton's or both? So Blanton's, I never bought a bottle of Blanton's. I need to. I've had it in a restaurant a few times to give it maybe I'll do a whiskey testing, taste testing later this year. Speaking of which, I have a whiskey smash right here. I'm trying to remember. This might be Breckenridge. I got a free bottle of it from my membership. I need to do a taste testing. So Alberto Alvarez says he liked my answer to the purge question. Again, go check out the previous video. He purchased Angel Whiskey and thought it was pretty good. What's my favorite whiskey? I'd have to say Woodford Reserve Double Oaked is kind of my go-to. Maybe out of familiarity. I need to switch it up. Mr. X, you've achieved a lot in your life. Are there any goals left to achieve? Yes. So number 1 goal, to see my children be successful. Thus far, it's worked, but they're all, teenagers in high school. So I want to see them happy and successful. Maybe that means a family for them. Maybe that means a career. My oldest son is picking careers right now, and he's picking a lot of trades like HVAC and an electrician. I can't respect that more. Those people make mad money, and they work their ass off for it. So if he can do that and be successful and be happy, I would 100% support that. So really, my children, those are my big goals. I have a few bucket lists. I actually have a video of my bucket list items you can check out right here, Zeke. Frank Leone, talking about the different fields I want to go to. Question, what did you recommend your kids study for college, and did you push them to complete a master's in the same field? So great question, Frank. I answered it a little bit. My son doesn't want to go to college. He wants to be in the trades, which is weird because he gets straight A's really easily. But I fully support it because his work ethic is like mine. I would encourage them to go into a specific line. I know a lot of people, what you get your degree in is not what you do. I mean, my wife's bachelor's degree is in exercise science, and she's been a stay-at-home mom for 18 years. My degrees are in business management and change leadership, or change management. So those, I would recommend those, something similar where it's a broad field. But no, if they don't want to go to college, they absolutely don't have to. One of the reasons I flunked out and wasted tons of money for 3 semesters is because I was forced to go to college. What is the most you've ever spent on an art print? Which one is your favorite? So not an art print. I've spent $4,000 on some autographs, $4,000 on some comic books. That's probably the most. I really don't have a favorite. I love them all. Lethal Venom, always trying to razz me, who's one of my favorite guys in real life, Travis. I love Travis. He's razzing me on the Bills. His question is, if I hadn't bought the Cybertruck, which he razzed me on, he's a huge car guy, is there any other EV you would have been interested in buying? No. I didn't buy the Cybertruck because it was an EV, although I really appreciate getting into electric vehicles now. I wanted the Cybertruck, not necessarily because it was an electric. Mrs. X has painted a few statues. Where did she learn, and how does she actually enjoy doing it? So she learned to do it online. She loves watching Matt's Custom Models. That's one of her go-tos. S7 Custom, she reaches out to all the time, who's I consider one of my good friends. Does she enjoy it? I think she enjoys it like I enjoy YouTube, it's kind of an art. It gives her something to do as well, especially as the kids get older. Don't get me wrong, they're still high maintenance, and she does an amazing job taking care of them in the household, but it gives her something to do as well. Daryl Metcalf, one of my favorite comedians in the world. He's not a true comedian, although he should be. Do you think Thundercats might have been more popular if they were Thunder Dogs? I would have liked them better, although I love Thundercats. Crimson Griffin, what would your all-time dream come true one-to-one statue? Oh, that's a tough one. One-to-one statue, dream come true. I would like a better endoskeleton. That's the Hulkbuster might be one. A true life-size Transformer, because that's a dream. Where could I store it? Silver Surfer, probably a museum Silver Surfer I would love. Wang Fu Adam, another great supporter of the channel. He won one of the last giveaways from Australia, mate. I had my first major break of a statue this week. Was an awful shock feeling. Can you recall your first major break? How you felt and what was the outcome? Yeah, so I picked up Prime One Studios Lockdown. I forgot. I picked him up by the waist instead of the legs, and his legs fell and shattered. And I was devastated. It was an $1,800 statue. I was devastated. And it took me a while to get over it. Now I don't fucking care. Now it happens, and I have about 30 seconds of pissed offness at myself, because usually it's my own fault. But then I get over it because they're fucking rocks. They're painted pieces of rock. Have you ever modified a statue that you've purchased aside from painting it a different color, says Omega Genesis Prime. So no, I've painted a few different colors, whether my wife or S7 Customs. The only modification I would say that I've done, I've considered some heavy ones before, but the only modifications I've added broken statues or switch out statues to different throne pieces. So like trophies of heads and stuff like that. That's really the only modification, but obviously it's not permanent. Zelos Metallium, another great supporter of the channel. Are you excited for the new Superman trailer? I don't get excited for trailers much anymore. I wait until the movie comes out, and I wait till it comes out streaming. I'll buy it when it comes out for $20 or $25 on Amazon Prime or Fandango. It used to be called Vudu. I still call it Vudu. We'll see then. Have you ever collected action figures? If so, anything specific from I Am Superman? Hot Toys. I think that would be the closest. When I was young, I had the small 6-inch G.I. Joes. I had Muscle Men. I had Battle Beasts. All kind of that range there. Which user you haven't banned, but you should have? So the only people I ban are people that say something about my wife or children. And it's so my wife won't read it. She doesn't need to deal with that. And honestly, people like that are... It's not even about banning them, because something's really wrong with them. I mean, they have to hate themselves to say something like that. But those are the only people I'll ban, is if you say something about my wife or children. Otherwise, I don't ban you. At one time I did, because I wasn't emotionally mature enough to ignore those comments, but now I am. Not John Cena, one of my favorite people in the world, serves for us overseas. What statue have you received that you weren't too excited but ended up loving? There's a lot of them that fall into that. I would, off the top of my head, I'd say Custom Blob statue. This guy right here just maybe overexceeded my anticipation. Nope, or what, blew out my expectations. All right, next guy. James, Mint Hunter Comics. I know his name isn't showing here, but Mint Hunter Comics. If you like comics, this is the channel to follow. James and I, we've done a few transactions, and at one time he's like, I'm a big comic dude. I'm kind of into statues. I'm a big comic dude. I'm going to start my own channel, and it's taken off. I think it's bigger than my channel now, well-deservedly. Just a cool-ass fucking dude. Mint Hunter Comics. Check out his... But he said, what's the velocity of an unladen European swallow? I did Google it and told him what it was. I don't remember, though. Daniel Crusoe. All these people moving forward are members of the Extreme channel. That's why you see little X's next to their name, so they get early access and stuff like that. In Thailand, they still have Toys R Us. And have I tried considering Cobra whiskey? Yes, I would try that. I would absolutely try that. Cobra preserved in a bottle. Maybe one day. One day I'm coming to Thailand. You and I are going to hang. And we'll have Cobra whiskey for sure. Mitch Green, he's the one that I had to try Angel's Envy And I don't think he has any questions, just some comments. So these videos are always longer than I think they'll be because you guys do a fantastic job. I really appreciate that. If there's something that hasn't been answered, throw that in the comments below and we'll do an episode 8. With that, I'm going to go spend some time with the family. And the day I'm filming this, to kind of get perspective, is it's a big day. It's Martin Luther King Jr. Day, first and foremost. Second of all, it is the College National Championship. And third of all, in the United States, we have a new president today. So lots of stuff going on. But throw down in the comments below anything I did not answer other than where do I work. And I will answer that in the next video. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for the questions and the comments. I really appreciate you. This is my 3rd video I filmed today because it's a holiday. Catch up on this shit. Take care, guys.